Hey, my name is Sarah. That's Jacob. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Fast.
Welcome back, Sarah.
Decided to sing, I guess. We should have a jingle. I'd love one. If anyone wants to make us a jingle.
Yeah.
We know a lot of artists now from the podcast, so I would personally love if one of them
Someone probably already made one. They just haven't sent it to us because they're pretty shy.
They're just a little shy.
So
shy.
if you have the jingle made, send it to
just
us.
let us know. What are you drinking or eating this week?
Okay, I'm eating this week. This is huge. I want to bring back cereal. I'm talking box, top of the fridge, in the cupboard. I'm going to bring it back to me, though.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been eating cereal in a while. We go through phases in the morning. I'm talking like, let's have an oatmeal phase for breakfast. Let's have a yogurt phase for breakfast. Let's do a little toast, some eggs here and there. Cereal was out of the rotation for a while, but I recently brought it back in. I've been rocking a little cinnamon toast crunch.
Love that.
And I dipped my toes in a little bit. I went to the grocery store and I bought like one of those regular size boxes of cereal. The next time I went back, I opted for family size.
Whoa, isn't cereal like really expensive now?
Yeah, it is. It's like you go in, you're
$7 a box,
$8.99 for something premium. You're buying granola these days, and it's just like I have a rule: I'll only buy granola if it's on sale. The prices of granola these days are astronomical. But anyway, I want to bring back cereal. I want to bring back the sugary, really bad for you cereal. It hits, and it doesn't just hit in the morning. It hits. You ever do a bowl of cereal at night?
I used to when I was in high school. Literally every single night I came home and immediately mucked a bowl of Cheerios, like a massive bowl of Cheerios.
Sarah, I'm not gonna lie, I had a bowl of cereal before I came here. Like right
that's
before.
A good snack. It's a good cereal's a good snack. It's a good tide you over snack.
It is, and I'm buzzing. And speaking of, what are you drinking this week?
Okay, so it's almost like, remember I told you all how I discovered Diet Coke late in life, like only a couple years ago? I discovered energy drinks late in life too. And
they've been around.
But I know they've been around, but I feel like energy drinks now are like way more normalized and way more front and center. Like I used to really judge people that like just, I don't know, walked around drinking like Red Bull like
lunch,
all the time. Yeah. But now I feel like it's like cool to have like a Celsius or an Alani Nu or any of those things. Anyway, speaking of which, I love both of those. The orange flavor specifically that tastes like a bubbly orange pop is my favorite. I had one before I came here.
Do you find out you get a buzz going on?
What I really notice it is if I'm really fading and I've switched it for my afternoon coffee a lot of the time. So instead of an afternoon coffee, I feel the immediate hit more. Okay. And I feel like I last longer. So like tonight I'm going to like a event after we record the podcast. So I need the energy to last longer. I'm not gonna have time to have another coffee or something.
Yeah.
I feel like the energy drink does that. So it feels like and also whenever I'm like dealing with like jet lag or anything, I find the energy drink really helps.
And good taste, because one thing I didn't like about energy drinks, same thing like years ago.
There was only like the one flavor.
Yeah.
But now there's so many options.
Okay, well maybe I'll give it a go.
I love them. There's so many options.
Sarah, what are you watching or reading this week?
Somebody in my household had never watched the Eras Tour movie before.
Whoa.
Which was a shock to most people on the internet. So on Saturday night, I had a low-key night in, and we couldn't decide on what to watch. And so I just put it on. There was no option.
What number watch for you was this?
Actually, only the second.
Okay.
Last time I saw it was in theaters because I saw it in person and I saw it in theaters, and I was like, it's kind of, or I'll have it on in the background when I'm cleaning if I just want to listen to music. But most of the time, I'm just listening to music in my ears.
Did it hit the second time as well?
Yeah, it was great the second time, and well, I guess the third time, the second movie time. It also the next morning, I wake up, I'm making my coffee, I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and he just goes, "Your propaganda worked." And I go, "Pardon, what's that?" He goes,
"He's hooked on it."
Your propaganda worked. He goes, "I have a new level of respect for Taylor Swift now." So
okay, I do like that about me. Is it half documentary?
No,
I haven't
this
seen
one
it
is
as well.
this one is strictly okay. But I made it a documentary. This is what you got to do.
You're filling
ladies.
in like subtext.
Exactly. The Eras Tour movie is not a documentary, but you can make it one by providing all the context by talking over the entire thing.
It's like a DVD commentary without
100%. And then like some songs we would just like skip through. Like I'd be like, okay, like this is another one of her just like walking around by herself. Like we'll skip. Like I couldn't sit there for 3.5 hours, but I condensed it into probably like just under 2 hours.
That's an Eras Tour movie presentation.
Yeah, 100%. It was under 2 hours, and then like for songs that like we both knew the lyrics to, like we would watch the full thing, and then I would explain the context. I would explain about like the guitar player, all the lore of the Eras Tour.
Yeah.
I was the DVD commentary. So
okay, I have to watch this then.
But I'll have to give you.
I was going to say when you're back
I'll
from
just
your
voice
trip. Yeah.
voice note it for you. What about you?
Okay, I'm actually throwing down a book, Sarah, because I've been working on this one for a little while and I haven't brought a book out recently. But we were on a previous episode, we were talking about grief, and it reminded me of this book because I picked it up couple of months ago, and it's been kind of my cottage book that I've kind of just had on the back burner. You know, you have a quick half hour, sit in the hammock, read a little book, a little bit of your book. So it's Everything is Horrible and Wonderful. It's about the death and kind of life of Harris Whittles, written by his sister. He's a comedian, passed away of an overdose. Very grief-filled situation. But what made me think about the tie-in between what we were talking about, grief on the other episode or previous episode, is that both are happening at the same time. And I don't know if we touched on this too much, because the book is so sad, but it's also so funny, and it's like a celebration and kind of wrapping up this really sad chapter all at the same time.
That's a beautiful way to
I've been enjoying it. It's a good book if you are into any kind of comedy. He wrote for Parks and Rec for a long time. They're probably like touch points of his work on a ton of different comedy, say like 10 years ago. Wow. So if you have any interest in that, I would say check it out.
I love that. Yeah. What are you listening to?
Okay, this is big because it's fall, and fall time means Bon Iver time, and Bon Iver released some new music.
Love that.
A little EP. I'm calling it an EP. It's probably a full album that's coming out later.
Not to be confused.
But a few songs, and it, you know, he timed it perfectly, because as the leaves change and as things that get a little darker outside and you spend more time inside, that's classic Bon Iver time.
That's
and
classic.
let me tell you, this new music hits. So if you're a fan of Bon Iver, and I know there's a little Taylor Swift tie-in there as well with a couple of collabs.
I started listening to Bon Iver because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Because of folklore.
Taylor Swift fans out there, expand out, like every 15 Taylor Swift songs, go and listen to a Bon Iver song this fall.
I like that. Switch it up.
What are you listening to?
Actually, do you know what? Speaking of that, that goes into what I'm listening to, because you're talking about like every 15 songs and switching it up. I have beef with Spotify right now. So I cleared my cache, which is how you're apparently supposed to like reset your Spotify when it's like being a pain
like
in the
not
butt.
Shuffling properly.
So what I find is, you know how you can put like enhanced shuffle on? Like you can have a playlist and it feeds in other songs.
Yeah.
I just am getting fed the same like 8 songs.
I hate Spotify shuffle.
I swear to God, Sabrina Carpenter, love you, girl, but they're paying Spotify to like push taste into my earlobes, because like literally I get fed that song on every place.
I'll be listening to Bon Iver and taste will come in.
I literally will be listening to like sad girl fall playlist and it gets like taste coming in my or like please I'm like, this is not sad girl fall music. So I don't know what's going on.
That's a conspiracy.
But it's like the playlist on Spotify and like the random mixing, and then it's like, you know how on the new version of X, Twitter, whatever, if you like one tweet about something, suddenly your entire timeline is that. That's how Spotify feels right now. It feels like I listen to one song and then they just keep pushing that same song back into every playlist. I wonder if it's like
they've like tied in some new AI features, and like AI just really isn't where it should be.
I'm wondering too, because so what I've been listening to is the same fucking 5 songs over and over again, because Spotify just keeps pushing it. I'm like, the whole point of the shuffle and like the enhanced shuffle is you're supposed to be introducing me to new music, not the same music that I have on other playlists.
I agree. That's so funny, because in the summer I noticed that I was nonstop getting fed Glass Animals, and like I'm a fan of Glass Animals.
But you're like, what?
But they were being put into some strange playlists that shouldn't have fit.
Same. And even like I'll add older music into playlists that like you'd expect to get more of like that vibe, and that's just like not 1975. Yeah. Literally all I get fed in every place. Anyways, Spotify, I don't know.
You got to answer to this.
Yeah, and you got to invite us to your podcast events, because we see you.
Somewhere you went this week, Sarah.
I went to, and this actually leads into our guest today, but I went to a Pop Girl Summer party.
Hey, look, this was fun. What was it?
It was fun. Basically, it was with Universal Music. Shout out. And there was like a bunch of us creators that were like representing different pop girls. So I represented Taylor, obviously. And I did a red lip. I had my merch on. I did a little denim on denim situation, which is kind of a preview of what I'm doing for the Eras Tour in Toronto. Right. It was super fun. I got to like pick a song. And then I also got to pick like an up and coming artist that I felt was representative of Taylor and like Taylor. So I picked our girl Sophia.
So were you repping Sophia? What do you mean you picked them?
Like I picked like for the also the DJ was DJ Baby Q, who did our live podcast.
Oh yeah, okay.
So anyways, it was just the smallest world, and it was outside at Stockton. It was super fun, and just like dancing and screaming, and like with our guest Nick, it was really fun because you know, like he's known for like screaming in his car, and like me and him got to like scream sing together. And he was so it was really, really fun, and it was a beautiful night. You know that weather that feels like nothing. nothing. Not hot, not cold. You can wear whatever you want. Perfect night. Felt like nothing. What about you? Where's somewhere you went?
Okay, well, kind of a perfect night as well. I was like, Haley, we got to go to a TFC game. We've been trying to go have a little date night at a TFC game for a while, and there were only a couple of options. When this comes out, there are probably no home games left, because they might be playing Miami, and I looked at those tickets, and it's like $1,000 for like the worst ticket just to go and see Messi. But we went and saw them play Columbus, which Columbus is good. We kind of got hit 2-0, I think, but it was really fun. I feel like BMO Field and TFC specifically are like one of the last remaining Toronto sports venues that like you can actually go have a good night and like it's not going to cost you $1 billion.
That and like Argos games, like also at BMO.
And like I am a huge soccer fan, so I like going and watching TFC. And they're not doing amazing, but like they're a good enough professional sports team that's like it's a fun time to go out and watch. So I was thankful to be able to go out there and same thing, cool-ish night. Got to sit, enjoy a beverage, watch the game. It was a good time.
What is something that you did?
Okay, it's just something not only that I did, it's something that I am doing right now. And I want to get your opinion on this because Haley, a lot of other friends of mine too, think I'm psychotic for doing this. They have huge bones to pick whenever I say that I do this. You get a new item of clothing.
Okay.
I wear it immediately.
No, I do too.
They
want to wash it?
They want to wash it. I listen, I'm right now, these jeans, I literally bought these jeans 30 minutes ago.
No, I assume they've been washed. And if they haven't...
Well, listen, there was one pair my size. There were 2 pairs my size, and one of them was like a little disheveled on the top. And I was like, well, if someone tried it on or touched it's that one. Yeah. I went straight to the bottom, went to the bottom pair. It looked perfectly folded. I was like, no one's touched this pair ever. And I hate washing pants specifically, and then putting them on for the first time. I'm like, it's like the washing machine broke in my pants. Let me break in my pants.
I no, you and I are on the same page. I'm the exact same way, and I always feel silently judged for it. And I'm like, whatever. I literally do not care. Do you know how much like grosser stuff you deal with every single day in your life that you don't even realize? 100%. We live in a city. Like,
if
all
anything,
there
these pants are like protecting me from other like more gross stuff.
Exactly. So I'm really not concerned about it.
Okay, I thought you were gonna have a bone to pick, but thank you.
No, I don't. This is one of the few times where we are on the same page.
Sarah, something you did this week.
Okay, so I successfully underpacked for the first time in my life. Well,
wait, are you ready to go? You leave in 2 days?
Yeah, when we're recording this, I leave in 2 days. So I've never backpacked before, and so I bought my backpack. The funniest part about this is, fun fact about Sarah Jenkins, is she used to sell camping attire.
Whoa.
That used to be my job. I worked at this place called Green Canoe Outfitters in Cobourg, and because I like coach canoe and kayak, I was like, oh, I can work at this store, and I worked there for a few weeks. And then I just started babysitting for them instead because I knew nothing about selling Patagonia sweaters and like canoes and backpacks, like Osprey backpacks. I used to sell.
Like serious backpacks.
Yeah, like the one that I bought. And that's the reason I knew about it. But I was like, I was like 17 and was not a camper, being like, yeah, you should buy this like $600 backpack.
Portaging is exactly. I do this all the time.
Anyways, that's just a sidebar. But I bought this backpack, and it's like carry-on size, got like the day pack on top. And I was really nervous about like overpacking because I know myself, I'm gonna buy clothes in Bali and Thailand because that's gonna be cheap, and I'm gonna buy like beachy stuff, whatever. And so I was really stressed about it, but I successfully underpacked. I made sure like all my shirts and skirts and like bottoms go together. The nice thing about packing for going somewhere that's going to be 35 degrees every day is it's really easy to pack.
Lighter stuff, not as many shoes.
I'm not bringing like sweaters. I'm literally bringing one pair of like flip-floppy sandals, and then I'm bringing my running shoes. Like that's all I've got. So all to say is I have successfully underpacked to the point where I'm looking at my bag being like, am I forgetting to pack something? Like I should probably add more, but I'm not. I'm not going to give in.
Huge.
Not going to give in, but it's great. I originally wanted to do this episode in a car, but I live in Toronto and couldn't find a car or a place to park, and the studio is just easier. But I felt like it would have been a good like ode to our next guest, Nick Palmai. That's how you pronounce his name, everybody, because everyone says it incorrectly. My internet friend who we finally met in real life just a couple days ago. Welcome to Talking Fast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So maybe describe to people in like a couple lines, like if you were to say like, what do you do on the internet? What do you do for someone that might not know who you are?
In a couple lines, I guess I would say I make a lot of music content, but the base of it is screaming songs in my car.
which I love. And is there like anyone, like, how did that become? Like, I've never asked you this. Like, how did it, like, did you always do that anyways? Or like, what made you decide to like film yourself screaming at the top of your lungs in your car one day?
So I've always been like a huge music fan. Like ever since I was little, I've collected like CDs and tapes and stuff like that.
Love that.
But no, I haven't always screamed in my car on the internet. But it was actually Olivia Rodrigo that started it, because when she dropped Driver's License, for some reason, when that song came out, I was like, I just really want to scream this song. Like, it's just that vibe. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just going to do it and post it and see what happens. And she shared it. And from there, I just kept making them. And I was like, okay, let's keep going and see what happens.
It started with her sharing it?
Yeah, she put it on her Instagram story, and then it just went viral. And I was like, oh,
that's a very screamable song.
Yeah, too. It was. That's how I felt. And I'm like, I hope someone else gets it. And a lot of people got it.
And it feels like you found like screamable songs off like every major, at least pop girlies album, like over the past couple of years.
Yeah, they make a lot of screamable bangers.
Okay, so wait, like that's already jumping ahead to one of my other questions, but like if Olivia, that's crazy, just a standard to set that your first like viral Olivia Rodrigo is sharing. First of all, like, oh, I'm just gonna do this, and then like that's what I was gonna ask, like, oh, when you first got recognized, but if you first got noticed on your first video, that's like a crazy like bars up here.
It was because I was like, someone commented on it and they're like, oh my God, she put it on an Instagram story. And I was like, oh, okay.
Was that the first time you were actually like singing, screaming at all? Or did you start, I should rephrase. Okay, if you're screaming now, did you start whispering in your car, talking normally in your car?
Did you do any other content before that? Or
before that, it was kind of like random. Like I would do like little meme videos where it's like you use a sound that's trending and like do your own spin on it. But the only other time I like sang really loud in my car, there was this one video that was going viral of this like gymnastics girl flipping on this mattress, and the beat reminded me of Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield, and so I duetted it, and I just like sober faced in the car.
Flips?
Yeah, it like went on beat, and that's all I could get out of. I couldn't get it out of my head, and then so I just did it sober faced in my car, just staring directly at the camera, yelling it really loud to the song, and that went viral. And like Natasha Bedingfield saw it, and she DM'd me, and she's like, "Do you care if I redo this myself?" And I'm like, "You go right ahead, Natasha Bedingfield. I don't care."
Yeah, you're like, girl. Like the rest is still unwritten. Like,
yeah, this is yours to write, actually.
Oh my God. Okay, I can't believe that. So then, who was the artist that like interacted with your content that like made you freak out the most? Or is like everyone special in its own way? They're all kind of special in their own way. That's a good angle to take for sure. But I remember Taylor Swift, she liked my video once. Oh, I would have
I was actually driving and I just got the notification.
Wait, which video
slammed on the brakes. It was Cruel Summer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I just slammed on the brakes and pulled over, and I was like, this is not real. And then I was like, saw the little verified thing, and I was like, oh my God, Taylor Swift saw, of all people, she saw it. And then there was one, like the one that also stopped me in my tracks was Sabrina Carpenter. I love Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
And when she did her album Emails and Because I Liked a Boy came out, I screamed that one. Because sometimes I'll like do text to like amp up the audience, be like, this is why I'm screaming this song, or like you don't get why they're saying this song. You're not hearing it loud enough, and so I'll scream it. And then she duetted it, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah. I would like that's, and also didn't Sabrina just interact with your video like a couple days ago too?
Yes, like, she just reposted it the other day.
It's like you're friends by this point.
Yeah, I was like, this is me in traffic practicing to go to the show because I'm going to the show on Wednesday.
Oh, that's so exciting. You need to do something like screaming in the crowd. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm at a show, I'll like scream along with the song and post those after because everyone else is screaming.
Okay, you were driving in your car when Taylor Swift liked the video. I was gonna ask, when you're driving in your car and not just filming a video, is it safe to drive with you? Like, are you screaming along? No, not like that. But I'm talking eardrums. Like, if you scream regularly, because I know as someone, it is relatable, your content, because sometimes if a song is hitting, I'll also scream. Yeah. I'm not an amazing singer, so I'll try to just like belt it as loud as I can, and that will feel good. So is that something you're actually doing on a regular basis?
Yeah, sometimes, like most of the time. Anytime I'm driving around in my town, like I live in a really, really small town, so it's like you pay attention, but there's not a lot of things you're gonna bump into, people, anything. And so my music's always at like max volume, and everyone just knows it's me coming around the corner when I can hear the music. And there's actually a few weeks ago, I think I was on my lunch break and I drove past someone I knew, and I was just singing along to music because I love to. That's just what I do. And they came into where I work not too long after, and they were like, oh, were you filming a video when we passed you the other day? And I was like, no, I was just having a good time.
It's called authenticity, babe.
Like, I can't drive around and do it. It's too bumpy.
Oh, that's true.
I go park somewhere in like, we have like an old mine in our town that's like not a mine anymore, and I drive out there to go do it because I'm like, no one can pull up and see this because I would be too embarrassed.
But that's like kind of the beauty of like you being from like a small town in northern Ontario, is that you can like go on like a back county road and like do that.
Yeah.
Whereas if I even like try to scream sing in my car when I'm on the highway. Like people can hear me. There's so many cars.
You said off the top of this episode, sorry, that if we did it in a car, there's nowhere to park. We would probably get the police called on us.
100%.
No matter which neighborhood we're in.
They'd be like, why are you screaming in a vehicle?
Imagine I parked on the street in Toronto to scream in my car to make a video. They'd be like, oh.
No, exactly.
Call the authorities immediately.
100%. There'd be no option. But that's like where like the perk of being from like the boonies kind of helps.
Yeah,
it helps you
I can hide. It's in a spot. I have no service on my phone, so I have to like pre-plan it all ahead of time. I have to make sure it's downloaded to my Spotify.
Big.
What a problem that I'm sure nobody would ever think would be a problem is the fact that you have no service. You have to pre-download everything and set up the TikToks before. That is hilarious.
And it's all still a 5-minute drive.
Exactly. The no service to service.
Yeah.
That's so funny. What do you hope that your content evolves into though then? Like, because I know like now you do more like commentary too and just like music and stuff. Like, has that always been something that you saw as a career path for yourself, like working in music at all?
Not always. And guess I never really saw it as like a career path until like this started happening. And I was like, oh, I could work this into a career, but I would love to get more into like music content and like reviewing music, or like I grew up in the era when like pop culture was like huge on like the award shows and like the talk shows, and I feel like it's not the same anymore, and I'm like, I would love to bring like the fun back to that. Like if I could get into like hosting things or like interacting with artists or like interviewing them to like talk about their music in like a more fun way than just the standard that we're kind of at now, which it seems like it's getting more fun again, which is exciting. But yeah, I would love to like branch into more of the entertainment industry and like discuss projects with artists and such.
I feel like you like have such a wide range of music that you listen to. Who is somebody that we should be listening to maybe that we're not then?
Oh, that is a good question. I do kind of have quite a wide range, and I feel like coming from a small town, that just happened because everyone in my town is like, we love country.
Yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
like, I've always been, I love pop music. Like Britney Spears was my favorite person when I was like 4.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of made a wide range of my music taste, I guess. But someone you should be on the lookout for. I actually just said this the other day because this question came up when we were at the event. And I thought of it afterwards, but I love, do you remember Pia Mia?
Yes.
She had like Do It Again. She was friends with Kylie Jenner. She was like, had her big moment for a little bit, and then it kind of faded off. And she just released an album the other week, and it's so good. It's so fun. It's so pop. And I'm like, people need
and no one knows.
Go back to Pia Mia and realize she's still doing this because now she's independent and she's just pushing it herself. But I think people should dabble in her new album. It's so good.
Didn't you post recently about Nelly Furtado as well?
Nelly Furtado, yes,
comeback,
she is
I'm
back.
here for too.
She just dropped an album, and what's the new single that is out right now off the album? Honesty, such a bop. Like, I love the fun pop Nelly Furtado, and I'm so glad she's back.
She's back, and she looks like she's not aged a day.
No,
if anything, she got younger.
No, it's crazy. She's like got that Christina Aguilera like aging in reverse somehow, where it's like whatever doctor that they have, like they're not even paying enough because they look incredible. Like it's shocking. I saw her on I had like to do a Juno's pre-event thing for work, and she was standing beside me, and I'm just staring at her skin. I was like, "Your skin is gloss. It was crazy."
Okay, speaking of award shows, I feel like we were talking about this a few episodes ago, maybe, but like totally agree. Award shows are definitely not what they used to be. One thing that we were talking about a few episodes ago, kind of at summer ending, we were like, okay, who owned the summer? Was there a song of the summer? So 2 questions for you. What was your song of the summer? And what if you were going to have your own award show, who would be getting that award? And then also between, say, all the female pop artists that kind of popped off during the summer, who do you think came out on top?
Okay, my answer is going to be the same for both. The song of the summer, Espresso. Sabrina Carpenter, obviously. Like that song from the second it came out to now, it's still just like sounds so fresh. It's like every time it comes on, I'm like, yes. It's not getting old. I'm like, is it gonna ever get old? I don't know. And then she did her rollout with Please Please Please, and then she did the album, and everything is just completely blowing up. And I've been like an OG Sabrina Carpenter fan, so I've been waiting for this moment, and it's like it's finally
also so
happened.
Nice when you have like a huge single, and then you have another big single. And like, what's the album gonna do? But then when it hits, feels good.
Yeah, like she's charting 3 songs in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 right now.
Which is crazy. Because like if you even said that a year ago, people would be like, what?
Like, no word of a lie, I had no idea who Sabrina Carpenter was a year ago.
Well, a lot of people's introduction, unfortunately, to Sabrina Carpenter was all the driver's license Olivia Rodrigo drama. Like the love triangle. That's how a lot of people
She's the blonde girl.
She's the blonde girl.
No.
Yes.
I'm learning about this literally right now. Really?
That is such good lore. You need to be into that.
I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta do some research.
She released her own like track back to it. It was so
because I liked a boy. It's about how she got like internet hate and all this stuff just because she liked a boy.
Mm-hmm. Even before that one, she released a song called "Skin," where it was like, "You can try to get under my skin, but good try." Like,
oh my god,
he's on mine right now. Sorry, it was
I
like
love
it was a bold move, but
that's
it was
why
so
there's
good.
so much lore too with like the fact that like Olivia and Taylor, like no one really knows what happened there, and then Taylor took Sabrina on tour, and then Sabrina's now had this renaissance and she's blown up in the way that Olivia did a couple of years ago. Like there's like years of lore behind that. So wait,
does
Olivia
Olivia Rodrigo
crazy.
now have to go and date Barry Keoghan?
Well, they're still together.
Well, there's rumors that they're not.
No, they got back together allegedly.
Well, Olivia, you got to get in there then.
Oh my god, she has a British boyfriend. She has her own boyfriend.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up on my.
Yeah, they literally look like Bella and Edward. And then she posted that she was watching Twilight, and I was like, "You get it. She's on the internet too much." That's so funny. Okay, so pop girl of summer, Sabrina. I would have said the same thing. I feel like espresso is everywhere. I feel like also like you have to look at the catalyst of like an artist that like blew up the way that she did this year too.
Or Chapel.
Chapel
did
too.
That's what I was gonna say.
Chapel started a little later in the summer though. I feel like the switch was like July-ish. I don't know. I feel like Chapel's like now this next year is gonna be like
huge,
next level. But I feel like espresso this year is what Cruel Summer was last year. Was that last year? Yeah, last year. That Cruel Summer was like the song of summer, even though it came out forever ago. Why? Who was yours?
I would say maybe Chapel. That's what I was gonna say. Is that like the crown could go either way in my opinion.
Her festival run was insane.
Well, you see some of those crowds. The crowd footage looked crazy. It made me actually miss. Like I didn't go to a festival this summer, and I missed when I saw those crowds specifically.
One of my embarrassing story is I saw Chapel open for Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Had no fucking idea who she was. So I go with my friend Mackenzie, and like she's like loves Olivia Rodrigo, so she knew everything about like who the openers were, this, that, and we're at the concert and she's doing the Hot to Go dance, and I'm looking at my friend like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and the entire crowd's doing it, and I go, this is an opener. I never heard, I didn't know who Chapel was. Literally, like, you know those things where it's like once you're introduced to a red car, all you see is red cars. Like that's what it felt like. It felt like once that moment I saw Chapel live, then everything after that, all I did was hear about her. I'm like, wait a second, that's the girl that opened for Olivia. And now I feel like an asshole because I listen to Chapel all the time, and now I'm like, I didn't appreciate it in the moment. But to be honest, I just had no idea. I had no idea what I was witnessing at the time, and now I'll probably never be able to see her again because it'll be too expensive.
Yeah, like I was in the same boat when I went and saw Olivia. I didn't know who she was, but my friend was really big into Chapel right before I came, and she was like, "You're gonna leave a fan, by the way." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll see." And the person I was sitting with beside, because we all went with Universal, and they were like, "You're gonna love Red Wine Supernova," and I'm like, "Okay." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I did love that." And then there was so many more, and I was like, oh, "I wish I like learned them ahead of time so I could like be into it in the moment as well."
I always say that happens with like we'll have a lot of artists on the podcast, and I'll listen to their music like when we're getting ready to interview them. But then what I find is after I add all their music to my playlist, and then I become such a fan after, and then I have so many more questions, and so it's like the Chapel one I feel bad about. You wrote in our questions here.
I was gonna say speaking of who won,
it's ridiculous.
Sarah and I we don't have to show you the video, but like Sarah and I last week I knew the Hot to Go dance because I was super excited that I actually could learn a dance. So I learned that.
I can't learn dances, but that one I can do.
And then Sarah had learned the Apple dance as well, and she was proud of that one. So if we're gonna continue on with your personal award show here, and you have to award best dance of the summer, what's better, the Apple dance or Hot to Go?
Is Hot to Go a dance or is it just hand
Hot
motions?
to Go is a dance for sure.
Hot to Go is a dance. I'm gonna call it a dance because then I can say I
because like it's kind of like the YMCA.
The YMCA is a dance,
but that's what's going to make
the Macarena is
a
dance.
No, for sure, because it's accessible to lots of people. 100%. That's I agree. The Macarena. I was doing that on stage at this. Oh my god, because I didn't know what to do. So what do you think?
Hot to Go or Apple?
Yeah.
I think Apple won the summer.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a take.
Okay, go.
I think Apple won the summer, but Hot to Go will, like you said, will become more of a classic and withstand time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna be doing the Apple dance a year from now. It's gonna be like the Doja Cat dance that was on TikTok. It's the same. It's a TikTok
Hot
dance.
to Go. Listen, this is a hot take right now, but Hot to Go might become this generation's YMCA. Because why are they?
We just said that 2 seconds.
Wait, this generation? Did I just totally?
You added this.
You added this generation.
You made our homework a little different.
Yeah.
A+.
It's like copying, but with spice.
I'm trying to
change it so we don't get caught.
I'm trying to get the TikTok clip right now.
Literally, he wants to be the one clipped off, being like, "I'll say it."
No.
I'll be the one to do it.
Okay, no, but I know you said YMCA before, but I'm like, those kids don't know what YMCA is. They probably never even been to one.
Let's teach them.
They've never even been to one. Oh my god. Okay, I like that we've got this whole like award show theme going here. What's your favorite concert you've been to this year? And then I want to know your favorite show you've been to ever.
Ooh, that one's always a hard question.
But if you can do this year, I feel like that's like an easier one.
This year, it would probably, so far, because I haven't gone to Sabrina yet.
When this is out, you've definitely gone to Sabrina, but when you physically are sitting here, you haven't gone to Sabrina yet. That's tough.
Yes. But I think either Olivia Rodrigo, because that show was just insane and like the whole weekend was, and then Tate McRae at Bud Stage. I've never been to Bud Stage, and that was my first time at Bud Stage.
Oh my god.
That show was just, watching her dance was wild.
You're a big Tate McRae fan.
How does she, like, the way her body not cracks, but like she's so sharp with all her movements? I'm like, how do you do that?
Well, like you saying earlier that like Britney Spears was like your favorite. Like, do you feel like it gives, like, a lot of people compare her to Britney? Like, do you feel like it was like giving Britney Spears like in her early
like
pop days?
The dancing, definitely, like, because Britney was always a huge dancer, and like people always talked about like they compare Tate to Britney right now a lot, and they're comparing her to like, you need a headset because like you're not singing a lot. And before I went to the show, a lot of people say she doesn't sing live, and I'm like, yes, she does. And when I went to the show, I was like, okay, you're only watching the clips on TikTok where she's dancing and like skipping parts of the song so she can get that hard choreography in. Yeah, because you can't do that hard choreography and then also sing. But there's also, she has so many other songs where she's just fully belting and she sounds incredible. So I think she has, even like, that might even not outweigh Britney Spears, but she is more of a vocalist than Britney Spears was. Britney Spears has more of like a style of vocal, and Tate McRae can just like belt in her own way.
And how was the show in that space? Because that's got to be one of the bigger venues that she's played, right? That's
that was one of her biggest.
16,000. So and kind of, it's outdoor as well. So
and like 9 months before she played History, I think. So that was like a huge upgrade for her.
Huge jump.
And it was like, she has so many. I couldn't see where the fans were, but I could feel like a breeze every once in a while, which was nice because we were right in the pit. And she has like all these fans blowing on her, the way her like lighting is, and she has like her stage moved at some points. There was some where she was like on a set of stairs and her dancers moved it. Like, you could tell they put a lot of energy into like her backup dancers and less about like the production of the stage. Yeah. Her stage was super simple but like effective, I guess. But
I love that. I really wanted to see her. I was away. But I like when an artist, like when they all have like a thing, so like, yes, she's like an incredible singer, but like the dancing is like her thing, and that adds to the reason why you go see her live, is because like, again, like if you want to hear it sung perfectly, put it in your headphones, people, and listen to it on Spotify. Like, you go to a concert for like the whole performance aspect of it, unless you're going to like an acoustic show at Massey Hall, which is a different type of experience. So that's why I really hate when people criticize like an artist for like not singing a full song when they're dancing.
Like, you're still getting a show.
Unless, honestly, I'll do one gripe I will have, and I haven't been to a show, but unless it's Pink, because like with the trapeze thing.
Like, you want her to
like
be
in
fully
the sky all the
singing.
No, I want her to be come down from your trapeze.
Oh, you want her to?
You've flown around
like,
long
that's
enough,
too much.
please.
You're saying it's too much. I was
it's
like,
too much, in terms of theatrics, because there's
like,
a good mix, you know.
Yeah.
So Pink's on the other end of the spectrum for that one.
She's been playing that flying game for a long time. Like, get down.
Come on, Peter Pan.
That's so funny. Well, what's your favorite concert you've been to of all time?
Okay. Ooh, that's so hard when you've been to the Eras Tour. I went to the Eras Tour last year in Minneapolis, and I
always say other than Eras Tour, because it's kind of like that's its own like moment in time in itself. Because I get asked that question all the time. I'm like,
that's just, you can't compare that to anything else. But I had a really fun, like, I've been to so many pop shows. Like, I've been to like Ariana Grande here as well. I held her hand. That was insane. But also like the big production of pop shows. But then like I went to Harry Styles, and like he's obviously a big pop star. But his show was like more simple and fun in a way. Like, he just runs around stage, and like him and his team have so much fun, and I just didn't expect to have so much fun with like such less of a production where it's not like all
not
about
as much
the theatrics.
not as much like to look at, like you're just watching him the whole time.
That was one of my favorite shows.
I thought that too, because like I mean, I was a huge One Direction girl, and I like really like Harry Styles, but I'm not like a diehard. But my friends and I got tickets the day of. We went and bought boas, did the whole thing, and I was so happy I ended up getting to go, because I was the same way. I was like, oh, this is like a different experience. It felt more like a classic show, like maybe from like the 80s or 90s.
It was just like him and his band, exactly. having a fun time.
Crowd is also so important at a show like that.
Well, the crowd, it was absurd. I'd never heard a crowd so loud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were at the same show.
No, the crowd was.
I've never heard a crowd so loud ever.
Yeah.
Especially because it's in Scotiabank, so it bounces off the walls differently too. Like, it's not like open air.
But as long as, I mean, not every artist can do that, because speaking of Chapel Roan, for example, like people go along with the Hot to Go dance, but like it really takes time to build up a fan base like that that's going to know every word to every single song that you're
was
playing.
crazy.
But amazing show.
Who would be your dream like artist to scream, sing in a car with?
To scream, sing in a car with? I think my favorite artist, like number one, always is Miley Cyrus.
She would scream, sing in a car.
Yeah.
What song would it be?
Oh God, but that'd be like carpool karaoke. You can do multiple.
Yeah, we could do multiple.
Okay, yeah, true. Sit down, Jay.
I feel like Miley would do it too. Like she's cool,
and she could just like hit it with real vocals, like scream, sing. Like she's got the rock in her. She could do it.
Yeah.
Her saying she won't tour is like heartbreaking.
I know. I saw her when I was young, but I'm like, I need to go now when I'm an adult with adult money and like go all in.
Yeah.
But she just won't.
She said that recently? She's not going
like
to?
a year ago or something. She said that like touring, maybe it was 2 years ago, but also like Miley just says stuff sometimes, so like you never really know. But there was a rumor at one point that she was going to do the Sphere as like a residency.
I was so ready to do that.
But she said she doesn't like touring because it feels really impersonal. Like she's playing like with her fans, like she can't see them, she can't like whatever. So she'd only do it if she could find a way to do like limited shows or do something that's more like interactive, basically. So it's like a good reason why she says she doesn't love it. She just doesn't love the like commercial aspect of it, I guess.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to be, what is that called when people are watching you? What are you?
She's like, oh, I know what you mean.
She's like, it's not healthy for me to be viewed like that every single night of my life. Like she's like, that's not a normal thing.
Yeah, like
she's on her like wellness journey, like being more private.
You could do something like Adele does. That's a smaller venue, right? Like the Sphere's huge, but like Adele's stage, so I think she could do a residency.
It's so funny because like Adele did like the residency in Vegas. That's like smaller, and then she goes to like Germany and sells out like 250,000 people. Yeah. But I do think Adele probably sets a standard for what other artists can then look to do. It's the same way as like Harry Styles kind of did with like artists touring less cities, and people go to that, like when Harry did like the 20 nights in New York and the 20 nights in LA, it was like, oh, you have to come to me instead. I feel like you're going to see that a lot more, and I feel like Miley would be the type of person to do something like that. Maybe
I do like that model.
Miley's the one of the artists that I haven't seen live that's like a huge bucket list for me.
Yes.
I've never seen her because like when I was in university, she came for the or maybe I was in high school, the what was that album? Oh, Wrecking Ball, like Bangers? That Bangers. Yep. I just wasn't it wasn't my Miley era. So
I will take any Miley era. Even like Miley Cyrus and Dead Pets. I'm like, I have to be in for this.
Commitment. That's the commitment.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. I'm sad we weren't scream singing in a car, but we'll make it happen one day.
We can make it happen one day.
I'll come visit you up in the boonies. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll show you where there's no service and we can scream in private.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here. I have so much fun with Sabrina Carpenter. I'm so excited to watch all the content. I'm sure, I don't know, by the end of this, maybe like we're bearing a lead and like Sabrina brings you on stage, you're scream singing with her. I'll manifest
Let's manifest that.
Yeah. We'll manifest. If you're not following Nick, make sure you go follow him. Can you tell everyone where they can follow you, where they can find you?
Yes, you can follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Instagram is Nick Palmai, TikTok's Nick Palmai1, and just search my name, you'll find me.
Go interact with him because we're trying to get him to move to Toronto.
Yeah, they want me here so bad. Yeah. I want to come here. It'll be fun. Like interact so that we can make Nick a Torontonian like the rest of us. And thank you to you for listening to another episode of Talking Fast. We're here every single Wednesday. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. We'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.